Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Paradigm Paradox. Starting our new route today, I'm going to start skipping. We are doing Ayamu's route, so we're going back to doing our good Bloom Boys, which, good, because I gotta be honest, I don't know. Like, I still like Ibuki, so I'm really at high hopes for his route, but I don't know, I was not really necessarily feeling Yukonami. Hyuga wasn't bad, but there definitely wasn't a lot of romance. And Lizzie being alive was probably about the only part of those that made it feel like it was worth it. But anyway, go to the student council room. Doot, doot. That makes sense. Who's on the rooftop? Huh. Okay, it's just straight up him. I was like, I glanced down. I'm like, did I? Like, I saw a transition, but I was like, did it? Anyway. I was like, for a hot second, I was like, fucking, which voice do we get? Oh my god, guys. We've been playing this game for so long. Yes, please come in. Sorry to interrupt. Maybe going to the student council room to ask for info wasn't the wisest idea. So what can the student council do for you? I'm looking for someone. I thought I might find a lead here. You're looking for someone? And that's not really the sort of thing the student council can help you with. There's his puppet pose, because the nose. It's the shadow on the nose is so drastic on our Bloom's Boys on some points. They never had that issue, really, like, with Yukonami or Hyuga. Like, it's like somebody else drew them, because, or shaded them, because, like, it's this when they do the, like, super shadow on the nose that gives them a puppet nose, and it weirds me out sometimes. So it's like, but like, why did Hyuga and Yukonami not really have that? To be fair, Kamui really just has ones where the smiling one where he has no teeth, and he looks like a puppet. And like, I think one of Hyuga's was like when you're really angry and you're like, okay, this is like disturbing, but like, they generally, I don't think Yukonami or Hyuga had one where you had such a nose shadow that made you look like it was sketched onto your face, like you're a Muppet from Sesame Street. It's just a choice. It's an odd choice. Anyway, I guess not. I really didn't think this through, did I? I'm sorry. I'd love to help if I had the time, but I have plans to meet my little sister shortly. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, I see. Sorry to drop by when you're so busy. I'll just be going. Please come by anytime you need help. I may be able to assist better next time. Okay, thank you very much. If you're going to be obsessed with your sister, and your sister isn't me, that's disturbing. But if it's me, and you're obsessed with me, and you want to get all up in me, then yeah, I'm into that. But only when I'm the sister, you know what I'm saying? Like, sis-con, bro-con, no! Not unless, you know, I'm the one in love with my brother, or brother's in love with me, then it's cool. But otherwise, it's weird. I didn't make the logic. That's just what happens. I had him pegged as standoffish, but he's actually really nice. Maybe he's gonna get all frisky with you because you remind him of his little sister. I'd be okay with that. I could get down with that. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for pointing out, because one of you pointed out that you can listen to the credits, because I was like, why can you not see the beginning credits and end credits? It's in the album under other. I don't know why that did not. Why would it? Where you go in and view your CGs, there's a tab. Apparently, I've never just scrolled over to that tab. Because to be fair, our Bloom Boys were right there, and then I clicked once to go see our other, but didn't click again and see there's a whole other section, and that's where movies are, and that's where the end credits. So thank you for that. No, I didn't figure that out. I probably never would have known if you didn't tell me, so thank you. Because I'm like, I read the comment, and I'm like, huh. And then when I looked earlier, I just went in and I looked, and I'm like, huh. Yeah, no, I never would have seen. Looked everywhere, but flipping through that. Okay. I'm not very bright sometimes, so making fun of her sometimes for being dumb I really shouldn't do, but it's funnier because was it during It was Yukonami's route where I'm like, oh god, she's not really bright. And then she's like, why is Rio out here without a suit? Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't notice that either. Me being like, yeah, I can't really call her out for being derpy sometimes when I'm stupid too like that. And it's another one of those instances. Anyway, now that I know everyone's names, I can inquire here without a problem. Yes, come in. Oh, I can't wait to see when we mention Haruka. Sorry to bother you. Can I see the student list? I'm looking for someone. I'm sorry. We can't show it to unauthorized students. It's against the rules. Is this an emergency? No, this is absolutely personal business. I can't even explain why I need to see it. It's not actually an emergency. I guess I'll just leave it for now. Really? Well, if the situation becomes urgent, please don't hesitate to return. Sure, thank you very much. I thought she was going to be like, hey, do you know anybody with his... And she was going to say Haruka, and he was going to be like, nope. Ew, that was wildly nerve-wracking. He's about my age, but he's so mature. Even when he smiles, he's intimidating. Okay, but I shouldn't think that way about a guy who was trying to help me. He's trying to be intimidating, so you stop coming back, because then he's going to get to know you, and then that would just throw everything out of whack for this man. But, I'm glad to be back. I like the fact that we skipped back and forth. I really do. I'm assuming I'll do it myself. Yeah, because, we don't want to go down the bad boy route. And I'm going to guess the research district, because the business district was Kamui and Mihaya. Outer Wall was where we ran into our other, I would say, I'm going to guess the Outer Wall is for all of the non-Blooms characters. So the research district would be Tokyo and Ayamu. Yeah. Okay. And that means maybe we get a CG, because we got one with Kamui and Mihaya the first time. When we went to the business district. If we're studying Theta, we can't skip this. This is my first time in the research district. What about you? Ever been here? It's a first for me too. Kind of nervous. The command center is in the research district, but does that count? All right, we'll make groups of 4. First, you 2 girls there. Pair up with Takato and... Takato and Mamiya. Mamiya? Yeah, okay. Wait, what? That means us. Oh, we're with school royalty. Lucky us. Are we lucky, though? Mamiya is super popular, so I'm kind of scared of the glares we'll get from his fangirls. Well, let's do this, then. I love you. It's so funny because, like, we only know you as Kaori, who is just spunky and super go-getter and whatever, and Tokyo always just seems like really like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go take a nap. Like, he's just, like, barely there, you know what I mean? Like, he's just aloof and quiet and, like, gonna nap in a corner. Like... He just gives up, and I can't wait to see you as you when we get there, you know? Shall we head on inside? Okay, let's go! Lizzie's so good at talking to people, but we're here to learn. I have to focus and stop worrying about what other people are thinking. We're paired up, so we might as well work together and enjoy it. CG? There we go. His face is like a cat that you put a bow tie on right now, and he's like, the fuck do you think you're doing? Because I have to deal with it, but I swear to God I'm planning your murder. Like, he just looks so, like... Because they gave him cat eyes, but, like, he just looks so, like, the pout on his face is like... So mad you put a bow on me. Like, he just... I don't know what it is about his expression. It's ridiculous. Lizzie looks like the one who put the bow on him. Ayamu looks just good in the CG. He's pretty. But, like, Tokyo's face is just the best thing ever. I was told this trip would let us observe all kinds of research that's usually off limits to the public. But what is this? I suppose to your eyes this experiment looks like senseless busywork, Tokyo. But that's the nature of a field trip, I guess. Senseless busywork? We're supposed to learn stuff they usually don't teach at the academy, though. After we learned how the colony operates its airflow, we were split into groups to start building model equipment. I have no idea how any of this works, but Tokyo and Ayumu seem so confident. You're so smart, Tokyo. I didn't absorb a single word of that explanation earlier, so I'll leave the heavy stuff to you. Lizzie, this is a field trip. We have to do our fair share of the work. Yeah, did you understand a word of that lecture? If we pitch in and screw everything up, we'll just slow the group down, right? Okay, you may have a point, but...
Let me talk you through the parts you should be able to handle. And then Tokyo can do all the tough science stuff. Deal?
Fine. That's why you're the council president. You're so nice. And thanks for leading us, Tokyo. Wow, Lindsay isn't even daunted by Tokyo's extreme aloofness. She's amazing. But then I already knew that. It's funny, his extreme aloofness, and then as Kaori, he's like fucking bubblegum princess over here. Which is funny as shit. I'm here to learn too. Come on now, no more of the shrinking violet stuff. How does this connect again?
Pass that here. I can handle it.
Okay, thanks. Ayumu inspected the part I handed him, comparing it to what he'd constructed so far, and then resumed deftly constructing the model. After that, he didn't even look my way again. I couldn't muster the courage to utter another peep. Ayumu's kind, but he's got a wall around him. It's probably hard to get to know him, unless you're his sister. I'm just saying, the bullet point said Syscon and just no, so I'm really concerned, about his route now. You know, okay, it's humans, obviously. I'm just concerned as to when we say, who knows, maybe that's real. Well, I already read that. That's not nothing new, so. Yeah, and see, like, again, that's like one of those things, because I know the commander, like, okay, might be a little, like I said, gray area. He tries to protect us from the researchers. You know what I mean? We attack the vectors. You know, when we first go, and he's like, I'll watch her. You know what I mean? Like, to stop them. So I think he might know I'm special or something. I feel like he knows more than just like, I'm just trying to protect you because you're new on the job. I'm assuming we say I think she'll be fine. Yeah, because then she's going to go die, which is just disappointing. Again, I do like that they kept that, like, vastly different so that when you go down the vector kind of path, that Lizzie's alive and you know what I mean? Because that makes it, like, that makes going down those routes, like, right. To justice! Ask Kaori for help. Interesting. I did Ayumu, right? She wouldn't want to live like this. There's only one thing I can do. I know that, but I can't bring myself to do it. Kaori, I'm gonna need your help to defeat Lizzie.
Alright, I'll help.
Kaori responded immediately and then circled behind the creature that used to be Lizzie. She unleashed hypnosis and the creature began to move sluggishly.
Do it now!
And then no. I'm just really surprised that we asked Kaori for help, not in Tokyo's route, right? Go to an empty classroom. Chem lab would be where Tokyo is. I think this classroom will be empty. Good, just as I thought.
What's as you thought?
I'd spoken aloud because I thought the room was empty, but apparently it wasn't. Oh, Ayumu, sorry, I didn't think anyone would be here.
No need to apologize. I'm not doing anything particular. I was just keeping an eye on everyone.
I went over to the window Ayumu was looking out and saw that everyone comprised of only a few people outside. No, this is a cute CG, actually. Does he want to be alone too? Maybe I'm overthinking things. Because, like, she looks super pretty in it. And then he looks kind of pretty, but he also has kind of like a, like, aloof, angry face. But, like, the pretty angry face, you know?
I heard about your friend. I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
His words were sudden. I didn't know what to say. I certainly didn't expect the student council president to worry about me. He's probably worried that I'm feeling down. Despite his intentions, his words dug sharply into my wounds. I was at a loss for words.
I'm sorry. That was insensitive of me. It's just, I have someone dear to me as well. I was imagining myself in your situation and I couldn't help but say something.
Are you talking about Tokyo?
Tokyo's a good friend of mine, but I met my younger sister. I couldn't bear it if anything happened to her.
I could tell he was talking to me on a personal level, not as the student council president. That made me feel a little better. Looking back, Ayumu worked hard yesterday to evacuate the students, even though everyone was in an uproar. He probably thought it was expected of him, but I wonder if there's more to him that meets the eye. Yes. Yeah. That's amazing.
What?
You mean me? I spoke without thinking, and Ayumu looked completely surprised. I think it's amazing that you can put yourself in other people's shoes. Sounds like you're a really kind person. When he heard me say that, Ayumu's expression turned troubled.
You're not particularly kind. Considering what happened, anyone would say the same.
Though he spoke haltingly, his words conveyed a sense of humility and seriousness. This small, considerate gesture was like a balm to my injured spirit. Back hanging out with the Blooms. Let's see, I'm not sure what we do now. Stop the argument. Oh, so that's the exact same thing. Interesting. What are the point of the other choices? A few weeks had passed since the daytime attack. The Blooms were able to return to fighting as normal. On the surface, at least. Hold on, so I'm gonna... Yep, okay, we're in his route now. I was curious because it stopped here, and I was like, alright, I think, yeah. So I wanted to scroll up. But... Of course, the sorrow I felt from losing Lizzie and my emotional scars from having to take her life hadn't yet healed. But that's why I have to keep going on. I can't allow anyone else to go through the same thing. I've decided to face this with everyone. I'm going to take our mission more seriously than ever before.
And the vector went that way!
Roger that! What is that annoying beeping noise? God, that's irritating. I wouldn't say that my determination had achieved some miraculous result, but I noticed our teamwork had improved recently. Take that! Not bad. I'll finish him off. Another down. The next will be coming from the left.
I'm on it.
I was filled with the sense that we understood each other as we fought, even though we weren't actually saying much.
And there's too many of them.
Oh, Haruka needs help. Assist Haruka by attacking. I would say assist Haruka with augment, but... Yep. I'll cast augment on you so we can take care of them in one go.
Sure, I'm counting on you.
I lightly took hold of Haruka's hand and concentrated. I imagined a ball of energy inside me flowing over to Haruka. The other members noticed what I was doing and began to retreat. Upon seeing that, Haruka held out her hand.
Burn!
She whispered the word and flames sparked from her hand. Boosted by augment, the fire swallowed all the vectors in the area. And that completes today's mission.
Thanks for the assist. You were a big help.
Haruka usually didn't speak much, so it was a surprise to hear her give me a compliment. She had a tiny smile on her face, and I couldn't help but grin too. No, she kind of has a little pout on her face, but, like, it's adorable still. That was all you, Haruka. I just cast augment.
And then we both did well.
There you go, now she's got a little smile. Seeing that rare smile made me want to talk to her more, but Haruka had already returned to her usual demeanor. She ran over to where everyone was, so I quickly followed after her. Sorry, bird kisses.
You gonna give kisses back? No? No give kisses back? You give kisses to the people listening? No?
Brad. Great job, everyone. I think that was your best mission yet.
Oh, now you're talking? Now you're talking back to me? You're talking back to me.
The commander was waiting for us in the command center. He greeted us in his usual carefree manner.
Oh, now you're chatty.
I didn't see Rio anywhere, but that didn't strike me as odd. Nothing out of the ordinary had happened during the mission. We just followed orders and carried it out per usual. It seemed to me the commander was just being polite, but it was still nice to be complimented. I wonder if that means he thinks our teamwork is good. If so, that'd be great.
We just did our job.
Yeah, it was nothing special. But maybe the others don't feel the same. I thought our bond was deepening as we continue to work missions together, and I'd hoped to do better I'd hoped to better understand everyone. I swear I can read. Jesus. I read too much is what it is. My brain is like, girl, I don't want to look at words. It's not that I want to make a fuss or anything, but is it so bad to be happy that the people in town weren't hurt? I hope you keep it up. Anyway, you're all dismissed. Going home before it gets too late. The commander soon left the room, seeing that no one had much to say about his praise. We kept getting dismissed so quickly, but I'd like to talk to everyone some more. Maybe I was overly excited because Haruka had thanked me, and that was so rare, but I'd started speaking to everyone before I even realized it. Do you all have a minute? I want to thank everyone today. Where's this coming from all of a sudden? Everyone turned to me in surprise when I spoke up. It already started, so I figured I should at least finish my thoughts. I think I've been able to come this far because of all of you. That's why I wanted to thank you. How Kaori looks so petrified of us thanking them. Like, their faces are so funny. I wasn't able to fight very well for a while, but because you all backed me up, I think I was able to make it through. So thank you. I hope we can continue on like this. Well, you've had a lot happen. Indeed, and despite all that, you're doing well. But don't push yourself too much. You're still not 100% right. They were being so kind to me. I imagine they were thinking about the issue with Lizzie. That genuinely... I'm sorry, that was just a really weird... I thought I heard a really weird noise up here. I'm like, something falling over? Okay. That genuinely touched my heart, but I had to make it clear that I wasn't trying to get them to console me. I'll be fine. I can keep fighting. I did feel slightly worried when I noticed Haruka hadn't replied at all. Haruka was always pretty reserved, so I guess she wouldn't say anything. And thanks to you too, Haruka. I'm going to keep doing my best. Haruka finally looked at me when I addressed her directly, but there wasn't any sympathy in her gaze. Only a cold, calm expression. I'm only doing what's best for the mission. I did nothing to deserve your thanks. Her words were calm and collected, as usual. It was completely expected she'd say that, but it still stung, even though I knew it. I knew all that. If the coldness in her eyes was nearly enough to make me feel dejected, her next words did the trick. While we're here, let's get something straight. You're a member of the Blooms, but that's it. It's annoying when you try to be friendly. Her bluntness shocked me to the point that I couldn't say anything. Then she brushed past me and walked out of the command center. The brief happiness I felt during the mission had vanished completely. At that moment, I just regretted the way I'd phrased everything. Kaori broke the awkward silence. Hey, I know you might feel shocked, but that's just how Haruka is. Don't let it bother you. Kaori attempted to cheer me up, though she didn't say anything more. Well, get some rest. See you all later. Kaori said goodbye to us, and then she also left the room. Sana, Mocha, and I were left with another awkward silence lingering between us. Kaori's right enough. Haruka's that way with everyone. It's not as though she dislikes you in particular. Yeah, she's like totally the stubborn type. And once the mission's done, she just takes off without chatting or anything. Perhaps you could say she's a lone wolf. Well, I suppose that's not accurate. She appears to be friends with Kaori. That is to say... Are you even trying to help? That's just rubbing salt in her wounds. They must have seen how down I was. I felt guilty they were trying to make me feel better. I'm sorry for making you worry. I'll be fine. Believe me, I know. I knew that Haruka would respond that way if I thanked everyone out of the blue like that. Yep. I tried to force a smile, but it must have looked strained because the two of them still seemed concerned. Well, if there's anything you ever want to say, I suppose I'm available to listen. Same here, so turn that frown upside down. Aw! Our boyfriends were making girlfriends with our boyfriends. They were like, we remember, like, what you're going through in the prior routes. Like, aw. Because, you know, they normally don't want to, like... Well, okay, in the very beginning, they were like, don't try to be friends with us! And then, like, left, because obvious reasons. But now they're like, we can be buddies. Aw. Yeah, thanks. I had the impression we'd all gotten closer, but things were pretty awkward right now. And not just because of Haruka. It's my fault for having all these expectations. I really do love Mocha, though. She's fucking adorable. Like, Mihaya may not be my favorite. Tokyo's my favorite. And I do love Kaori. She has the goofiest fucking expressions with her giant fucking saucer eyes. But I do kind of think Mocha's the cutest one. Like, she's fucking adorable. If you had to, like, pick an avatar, like, and you had the girls as your, like, choices, I'd be picking Mocha, no question. I'd be like, look, she's so fucking cute. I love her. It's my fault for having all these expectations. I just read that, sorry. That was what occupied my thoughts as I returned to the dorm, still feeling downcast. I jumped into bed once I got to my room and felt like I never wanted to get up again. I know, the Blooms members are basically my coworkers, not my friends. After losing Lizzie, I'd often be on my own at school. Hanging out with other people reminded me of Lizzie, so I kept my distance from them, which in turn made me lose a sense of belonging at school. Maybe that's why I subconsciously sought out the other members, to try and find a place where I belong. A part of me must have thought they'd treat me kindly if I said what I did. My naivety was so embarrassing when I thought of it that way. What was I expecting? Did I just want everyone to be nice to me? We were risking our lives fighting, so hoping for a friendship like the one I had with Lizzie was unreasonable. Chatting about random things during breaks, cooking together, going into town together, that wasn't the type of relationship we had. We were on the same team, that was all. Haruka was right. I thought that maybe I could shake off my depressive mood by writing an email to Uncle Yashima. I gathered my bearings and went to my computer. The professor. It'll just make him worry if I write all this. I reread my message and thought it just made me sound pathetic. In the end, I deleted everything. Uncle Yashima was kind to me when Lizzie passed away. I'd chosen to move on with my life at that time, so he'd probably worry about me if he saw I was showing signs of regret again. If only Lizzie could be here for me. I know I have no right to think that, but I can't help it. I was the one who struck down Lizzie, so I didn't want to feel like I still needed something from her, and I hated how I continued to have such negative feelings. But I couldn't find a way to pull myself up. All I could do was wallow in darkness. I am really glad again that, like, I decided for us, because, like, nobody had an opinion either way, to do the 2 blooms, go down the 2 vector routes, and then come back, because I like that we got to see a different perspective, you know what I mean? And especially seeing Lizzie alive is like, you know what I mean? And now you come back and now you basically punched Lizzie to death. Literally, one punch, you know? And so now her being gone kind of hits you a little bit more. You're like, oh, yeah, because she's alive when you go to the vectors. And so you feel a little bit more of the guilt that they're trying to make you feel. Like, it feels worse because you've seen that how she could be alive still, you know what I mean? And happy and being herself, you know what I mean? She's not a human, really, but she ain't dead. You know, and she's not a monster, so like, you know? And also because Kamui and Mihaya's routes were fun. I liked them. They're not my favorite love interests, right? But like, still enjoyed their routes and we had a good time. Yukonami and Hyuga, I'm still like, about overall. We got a lot of information in those routes, which was nice, but like, Hyuga didn't really have a lot of romance. It was kind of like left open. I think he would have been a better romance option than Yukonami. And then there was Yukonami. And you're like, you know. Still, I mean, I still had fun playing the routes. Like, it wasn't like, oh God, I hate this. But when you take a step back and you're like, the romance, you're like, yeah, I don't know about that. Like, at the end of the day, not my favorite. Probably wouldn't replay them, you know, whatever. Yeah, Kamui's route and Mihaya's route were good enough where you're like, yeah, no, you could go back and replay those. Then I probably wouldn't, just because if I'm going to replay a route in a game, I'm going to replay my favorite love interest. But I wouldn't mind replaying those just because they weren't too bad. But Yukonami and Hyuga would be like, pass. I'm glad I experienced them. We've had fun with this game so far, but you know, overall. So again, I kind of felt this way, and I've said it multiple times. I like the blooms better. I like going down this route better, even though what I like in the vector route is like Lizzie not being dead. You get more character development with her, you know? So I'm glad we kind of split it up, because if I did all 4 of the blooms and then we went and just did those routes, I think I would have been looking forward to finally being okay, good, then we'd be moving on to Ibuki. Good. But I don't know. I think I look more forward to it being like, okay, once we're done with those, we can go back to our Blooms Boys. And maybe, like, Tokyo is, to me, he's next, so great. So Ayamu's going to be the stepping stone. I don't mind him, though. I'm concerned just about the bullet points that, because, like, like I said, I don't like to read too much. Like, I read the other ones for Yukonami and Hyuga at the end. I didn't want to read Ayamu's because I don't want to know spoiler stuff, but just reading those 2 bullet points, I'm like, okay, that's concerning if Otome Kitten doesn't seem to like him very much. And maybe then the Syscon thing, and you're like, okay, so is he too obsessed with his sister? Let's see. Or is it because he treats you like a younger sister, and maybe she's not down with that kind of stuff like I am? You know what I mean? So I don't know. So now I'm like, oh, well, maybe this isn't going to be as enjoyable as it should be. We'll see. But I was looking more forward to doing these 2 routes than Yukonami and Hyuga anyway. So I'm kind of glad we kind of got them out of the way. Although I don't think Hyuga was bad. I think they could have done him better, but I don't think it was terrible. It's just there was no romance there. It was like, okay, we can see it should be blossoming, but then it ended, and you're like, okay. All right. It did feel kind of pointless, like a pointless route. Like, we're just going to put it in here. There's a lot of exposition, which we needed, and then there's no romance. So I feel like overall I'm let down by the Vector route so far. And even though I'm still trying to hold out hope for Ibuki's route, I'm wondering if, like, Ibuki and Ryo are going to disappoint the fuck out of me too. And then, like, it would have been way worse to play 2 decent routes. Maybe these 2 are going to be decent and not, like, playing the Blooms and going, yeah, no, they're pretty decent. Okay, we're having fun. And then be disappointed after disappointed after, you know what I mean? So, like this is going to bring us back up a little bit, I hope. I don't know. Anyway. The next day I went to school and simply sat in class, but I still felt tired. Like, I'm more excited to come in here than I was doing Yukonami or Hyuga, to be fair. Hey, check this out. Oh, wow, that's so nice. Everyone's so energetic. There hadn't been another Vector attack since that day, but we still had emergency evacuation drills pretty often. As more time passed, the academy seemed to recover the lively atmosphere it previously had. Of course, I know full well there are others who suffered a loss like me. I know they're trying their best to act cheerful. But no matter how much I thought that, whenever I saw other people smile, I felt like I was being left further and further behind. We gotta head to our class next, or our next class. The audiovisual room's so far away. It's even further for me since I'm in the west building. Hey, we better hurry or we'll be late. Crap, there's only 5 minutes left. Well, you're right. Oh, yeah. Next class is our elective. I better go. I reluctantly exited the classroom. When I stepped into the hallway, I felt a comforting breeze from an open window. I might feel better if I got outside instead of staying cooped up in a classroom. Maybe I should just skip this class. It's an elective, after all. Those are usually the fun ones. The next period was our last class of the day. I was getting sick of feeling so depressed and thought maybe some bold action was required. People will think I'm weird if I go back to the dorm at this hour. Where else in the school can I kill some time? Excuse me. As I started to walk and think about where to go, someone called out to me from behind. I'm assuming it's Ayamu, but it could be his sister. No, it's his sister. Okay, that's probably his sister. This is the character we haven't met before. She's in the opening credits, and I was like, who the hell is she? Is she on the Vector side? And then I forgot. But he has a sister, so it's probably her. I turned around and saw a neatly dressed girl who looked about middle school age. Oh, and now you're upset. Okay, well, that's creepy. She looks all proper, but that's not her school uniform. I think it's the one from Cherrywood Academy. Yes? Is something wrong? I replied to her immediately. It was unusual for someone from another school to visit here, but more than that, her gentle demeanor intrigued me. My name's Ritsu Mamiya. I'm a second year at Cherrywood Academy. I'm here in student council business and I'm looking for the library, but I don't know where it is. Could you help me find it? Oh, if you're not in a hurry, that is. She was probably being cautious because the other students were hustling past us. Her consideration made me like her more, and I gave her a genuine smile. I can take you to the library. I'm Spacey Takanashi. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for your help, Miss Takanashi. The way she smiled and bowed was so cute. Felt as if she'd shined a light on my darkened heart. Okay, or wait. Is the siscon thing because we're going to be into his sister? Because we're like, girls, simmer down. I just met someone new, so though I was feeling depressed, I focused on helping guide her through the school. You're on your student council? You must be smart then. Well, not exactly, but ever since I joined, I felt like I should take it seriously. As we made our way to the library, we talked about how she was a second year at her middle school, and how she was a member of her student council. She's being modest, but I'm sure she's smart if she's on the student council. It makes sense with how proper she seems, too. So what is it? Okay, because Japanese schools are different, and like American schools usually 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. But Japanese school 9th grade is part of middle school, right? So she's technically then 8th grade. Oh, do they do 4, or then she's 7th grade? Do they do 6, 7, 8, and 9? You know what I mean? I don't know how they do their middle school. Because like American schools, 1st through 5th is genuinely elementary school. 6, 7, and 8 is middle school. And then high school is 4. So if they do, like, if they bump everybody back a year where like elementary school goes to 6th grade, then she could be in 8th grade. But if they do 6, 7, 8, and 9, then she's only in 7th grade. So 7th or 8th grade-ish, I guess. It's really hard when they're like second year. That helps nobody in America. You know what I mean? I feel like do British people do that too? Do people in Europe do that? Like, oh, second year or third year where you're like, why did America have to be so fucking dumb with everything? People talk about centimeters and kilometers and you're over here like, I don't understand non-freedom units. Like, what the fuck? I don't get it. Like, I'm so confused. Poor Canada. Because they're, like, stuck driving on the wrong side of the road like us. Everybody else does one thing and America's like, fuck you, Dad, I'm gonna do the opposite. Seriously, I'm pretty sure the only reason America does half the shit the way it does is because we were moody, angsty teenagers saying fuck you to our England dad. We were like, fuck you, Dad! You do kilometers, we're gonna do miles, we're gonna measure things different over here, and you drive on that, we're gonna drive on the opposite side of the road. And then Canada's like, well, we like share a border with you, so we have to share roads, so like oh fuck. So Canada's really fucked up, because don't they do like Celsius and shit, but then they also drive on the same side of the road we do, so they're like even more weird than we are. Poor Canada. It's not your fault you're weird. It's kind of our fault you're weird, but, you know. like it gets so confusing because I feel like everybody does school certain ways and America's over here like, fuck everything. We do it our own way and we just don't comprehend shit. We're like, it's so confusing when people talk about things because you're like, yeah, I don't get it. You're not talking in American. I don't get it. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad, but it's so funny. Like, we were talking about switching the way we measure things for, like, I think that started in the 50s, and this has never happened. And, like, getting rid of daylight savings time, it's never gonna happen. It's kind of stupid. Can we please do it? And then some states got rid of it and some don't, so that's even more fucking confusing? You know what I mean? Cause like how more like fucked up is like, okay, it's all or nothing. Either we all just fucking abandon it or you're not allowed to abandon it. I think we should just all be allowed to abandon it because it's stupid and pointless. Like, okay, I get it. It was for farmers and shit, but like you have alarm clocks. Just set your fucking alarm differently. I should not have to be dealing with the fact that it's 2 p.m. and dark as fuck because we spring ahead. And you're like, okay, it's dark, but now it's 5 o'clock and it's dark. Like, it's in the middle of the night. It's already getting darker earlier. Actually, that's the fall. Fall gets darker earlier, but we fall back. Oh, yeah, no, falling back, you gain an hour, but it makes everything darker earlier. Yeah, no, okay. See? It's stupid. It's the logic. You forget about it. And then in the spring, you're like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Why is the sun still out? We're not Alaska, okay? We don't deal with the 6 months of sunshine shit. So, like, why are we trying? We just do stupid shit, man. Just... Daylight savings time is coming up soon, isn't it? You think it's exciting that you gain an hour. You're like, woo, fall back, gain an hour, woo! Except for, again, 2 p.m., you're like, why the fuck did the sun go? And why is it like eternal night? And it's worse when you live up north where it snows and then it's super motherfucking dark because it gets even darker earlier. And then it's snowing and you're like, it's like I'm driving in the woods in the middle of the night and it's snowing and I can't see anything. You know? Anyway. She's being modest, but I'm sure she's smart if she's on the student council. Makes sense with how proper she seems, too. Why are you going to the library? Don't you have one at Cherrywood Academy? Our library's undergoing a big remodel, and the school asked the student council for opinions on the book collection, as well as the layout. Oceanside Elite Academy is one of the largest libraries in the academic district. That's why I'm visiting. It's for reference. I see, but you came alone? The other members were hesitant to come because this academy is so large. I've been here before, so I volunteered to go by myself. She smiled as she explained everything. She seemed so mature for a middle schooler, and I could see why her student council trusted her to come alone. You really have it together, and you do give off the impression that you're smart. No, it's really not that. There's a reason why it's easier for me to come here. I was like waiting for him, like, oh, I'm like, why don't you just say my brother goes here? I'm like waiting for her to fucking say it. She finally gonna say it? What do you mean? No, my older brother attends this school. That's why I thought it'd be fine. Something about how she was shy to mention her older brother felt a bit off to me. That's concerning. Oh, so your brother goes here. What year is he? I'm a second year... Oh, wait. I'd figured out what felt off. You said your last name was Mamiya. Mamiya? Anyway. Are you Ayumu Mamiya's sister? Yes, he's my brother. He's the student council president here. I knew it. I haven't really talked to him before, but he's very popular. I get how his younger sister would be so put together. I'm glad to hear you say that about my brother. This time her smile made her look more her age. She and her brother appeared to be quite close from the sound of things, which is disturbing. Maybe. I'm just going by those bullet points. I'm concerned. You must be close with Ayumu. Maybe it'd be better for him to show you around. I considered that, but then I thought he'd be busy. She looked a bit hesitant as she answered. Or maybe she's like, I don't like how obsessed he is with me. I don't know. It was difficult for me to imagine why that may be, since I didn't have any siblings, so I just took it at face value for the time being. It's true, he's usually busy. If that's the case, I can help you out if you like. You'll need to visit more, right? You can talk to me if you come again. Really? That would be most helpful, but wouldn't I be a bother? Her eyes lit up at my suggestion, and I smiled in response. She really doesn't look that much younger than we do, to be fair, on the sprites and stuff. Not at all. Oh, I should give you my contact info. I was actually hoping we'd have the chance to speak more. You seem like a very kind person. Like, she's adorable, too, don't get me wrong. Feel free to call me anytime. I do hope we can be friends. I dug out my cell phone as she chatted away. You kind of had to know when he, like, talked about his sister and whatever. It's like, okay, we're going to become friends with his sister because we need a friend now because our other friend we're replacing our friend. This is our friend Rebound, and then that's why we're going to be around him more. And do you think he's going to, like, okay, what I'm really hoping, especially with the SysCon and Just Know, okay, literally Just Know. Okay. So, like, Otome Kitten didn't like Ayumu. Okay. Again, I don't know. Because I don't remember reading other things if she's, like, into, like, no, I'm not into the brother thing or family relationships grow. Like, I know some people are not into that. I can understand why. I'm a freak. Okay? But, like, is it just because he's, like, obsessed with his sister where you're like, I feel like a third wheel in our relationship because you're more obsessed with your sister than me, and that's going to be like, yeah, no, I'm with you. No, gross. Or is he going to be, like, obsessed and weird and treating us like a surrogate? Like, you're another sister. You know what I mean? Where you're like, okay. All right, now it's kinky. Oh, it's weird, but it's the kinky kind of weird that I'm into. There's a line. Watching you be weird with your sister is like, that is disgusting, sir. Gross. You're gonna treat me like your sister and then act like that with me? Oh, hell yeah, that's a turn on. Not in reality, obviously only in a game, but it's weird that unless I'm the subject of that weird sister obsession, it's creepy and gross. But if it's me, then I'm cool with it. Listen, I don't make up the rules to my degeneracy, okay? They make up themselves. Would you mind if I called you Rizzy? Rizzy? Oh, I like that. What a fun nickname. I've always wanted someone to come up with one for me. And you don't mind if I call you by your first name, right? How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Not at all. Oh, and here we are at the library. We're calling... I think it's funnier that we called Lizzie Lizzie, and then we're going to call her Rizzy. She's really a replacement friend. She's the replacement Lizzie. That's why she's Rizzy. I know her name's Ritsu, but like, and that's where you get the R from, but I'm just going to go with R for replacement and then Izzy for Lizzie. Replacement Lizzie. Rizzy. Oh, do you think they thought of that when they did it? I'm not sure if you're supposed to pronounce Lizzie's name like Lizzie. It'd be like Lise. Lise? Right, because it'd be Zay. Lise. Well, yeah, which would be like Lizzie. In, like, I guess. But if we're talking about it... I don't know if they meant to do that, but it's pretty funny, so... Here's replacement Lizzie! I hadn't chatted with another girl around my age in a while. She's not really... Well, a couple of years. And I wished I could have stayed longer. But we'd arrived at the library, so I couldn't just hang around jabbering. I'll give you a quick tour of the inside, too. It's gigantic, so it's easy to get lost in. I'd appreciate that if you don't mind. I showed her around the library and then promised we'd meet again when she visited. Promised we'd meet when she visited again, sorry. Oh, I like replacement Lizzie. She's adorable. And that's our in with her brother. The next day, I wonder if replacement Lizzie's arrived yet. Rizzy had contacted me, so I was hurrying down the hall to see her. We were going to meet at the library today. I thought it might be faster if I cut through the courtyard. As I headed out there, two people caught my eye. Oh, it's Rizzy and Ayamu. I moved a bit closer to them and saw Ayamu speaking intently to Rizzy. When are you coming next? You should do so when I'm free. If you told me sooner, I would have... Maybe they haven't talked in a while. I better not interfere. Or maybe he's obsessed because he doesn't want us hanging out with his sister. I thought it'd be better if I just went to the library, so I decided to head back into the hallway. But Rizzy's eyes found mine right at that moment. Oh, Spacey! What great timing! I was about to head over to the library, too! Spacey! Well, now that she's called out to me, I can't exactly ignore her. Nod to Ayamu, I would respond to Rizzy. But I feel like we should nod to him and be like, sup, taking your sister. Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to nod to him. That's so fucking... Listen. Knowing or just suspecting or just based on the cis-cunt thing, okay? It's like, obviously, okay, whatever your relationship with your sister is, I'm gonna just think it's inappropriate in my head right now. So it's like, we're coming over there and be like, yeah, just gonna nod, wink at you, link my arm with your sisters and be like, I'm taking her to the library. I'm taking replacement Rizzy. Who's got the Riz now? Literally, I have the Riz, as in Rizzy, and not just the charisma. There are so many puns to be had here. Oh, shit, we're having a good time. You know what, as fucked up as this route might get, who knows, but like, oh, it's pretty punny. I looked over to Ayamu after Rizzy called to me. He didn't seem very happy. But we were in the same grade. He was the student council president, so I nodded to him out of politeness before responding to Rizzy. Hey, Rizzy! In sharp contrast to Rizzy, who was smiling brightly, Ayamu was obviously in a bad mood. Oh, he's gonna hate that we gave her a nickname, too. Maybe it's because I interrupted their conversation, but I didn't expect him to get so obviously angry. I thought he was more the type to not show his emotions. Ayamu had always felt unapproachable to me for various reasons, but now he was giving off an extremely overbearing vibe. Doesn't want anyone messing with his sister. Now, is he just, like, really obsessed, or is he overprotective of his sister because they don't have parents or some shit? You know what I mean? Who knows? I thought it'd be best to leave, but Ayamu spoke up just then.
Ritsu, do you know her? Yeah, she showed me where the library was yesterday. She also offered to help me from now on, so we exchanged numbers. We're best friends. Rizzy cheerfully explained the situation to her brother, which made him frown even more. Oh, he is so mad. Look at his angry puppet face. Oh, he's a mad little puppet, isn't he? Gonna take Rizzy away. I swear I'm not drunk, but that's what I feel like right now. This is ridiculous. Why didn't you ask me if you needed help? I've always said to come to me if you ever need anything. Ritsu, I'll always make time for you no matter how busy my schedule is. There you go again. I've said this before, but you paid too much attention to me. Yeah, see, this is where we're getting borderline weird now. Rizzy had been smiling the whole time, but she began to look irritated after Ayumu said that. I guess even someone like Rizzy could get into an argument with her brother. Yeah, and he looks a little like, don't tell her I'm obsessed with you. Yeah, so concerning. Okay. I thought it was admirable the way she stood up to her brother, but then things escalated from there. Spacey and I are friends now. Therefore, I'll be asking for her help to find my way around and chatting with her, too. You're friends with her? Ayumu glared at me again, and I started to shrink back, but then he swung his gaze back to Rizzy and reluctantly agreed. You're like, she even gave me a nickname. She says it's Rizzy, it's replacement Lizzie. I'm like, whatever. If that's what you want, Ritsu, it's fine. And there's no reason for me to say no. Because if he says no, then his sister will rebel and won't love him anymore. I might be reading way too much into this just based on the few things that I know, but... Oh, good. I was worried he was going to tell her not to be friends with me or something. I mean, I'm concerned. I want to read the rest of the synopsis that she... I want to spoil it a little bit to find out, but, like, again, just those 2 bullet points seem to say a lot. So... But my relief didn't last long. Ayumu's eyes flicked toward me again. Oh, he's mad now. Yeah, I know him. You're Takanashi, right? A second year? That's me! Don't act like you don't know me, bitch. Good cover, though. Since Ritsu insists you show her around, I ask that you look after her. But make sure to contact me if anything happens. I can't just do nothing if she's in trouble. I understand. Despite his politeness, I can tell by the look in his eyes that he's still not happy. They say eyes are the window to the soul, after all. And Ritsu, make sure not to push yourself. You really can rely on me more. I understand, but I'm okay. You can go. Don't you have work to do for the student council? Well, yes, but just let me worry about you a little. You're planning to stay late, right? Then I'll walk you back to your dorm. Just get in touch with me when you're done. I'd appreciate it if you contacted me as well. He addressed that last bit to me, but he didn't sound as overbearing as before. I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was probably just worried about Rizzy being in an unfamiliar place, so I happily obliged. Yeah, look how naive we are. You can count on me. I'll be with her until you come pick her up, so you have nothing to worry about. All right. I certainly hope you will. He seemed persuaded enough by what I said, but I could tell he was still concerned. Ayumu hesitated as if he were reluctant to leave. Come on, Ayumu. Aren't the other student council members waiting for you? Yes. Well, you really must be careful. Takanashi, again, please look after her. Some of this just sounds like he's overprotective. You know. Except for, you need to stop paying attention to me so much. Her comment is a little concerning, but, you know, you need to stop being overprotective is one thing. The way she said you need to stop paying so much attention to me is like, oh, girl. But, like, he just seems right now to just be a little overprotective, you know? Which, considering the role that he plays, you know what I mean? Being in the blooms and seeing the monsters out there, I can absolutely fucking understand him being overprotective. You know what I mean? Of his little sister. He impressed this upon me one last time before he finally departed, especially because she has no clue about those things. He really does care about you, Rizzy. I found Ayumu pretty overwhelming, so I couldn't help but let out a sigh now that it was just replacement Lizzie and me. Every once in a while, I'm going to call her replacement Lizzie, so if you don't like it, too damn bad, because I find it funny as fuck. But not all the time. Not every time they call her Rizzy. But every once in a while, we just got to slip it in, just to remind you. She's replacement Lizzie. She also heaved a sigh before we resumed our conversation. My brother's always so overprotective. I think he should trust me a little more. It's not that he doesn't trust you. I think he's just worried. You are siblings, after all. And again, like, he knows the monsters that lurk in the dark that nobody else knows. Well, we all know about them now. Never mind. That's true. We're at the point in the game where we all know. But, like, I'm sure he was overprotective from the very beginning because knowing what he knows that nobody else did. And now it's probably worse because before it was we battled the Vectors, nobody knew what was going on. But now that the Vectors are attacking in daylight, it's a little more dangerous, so he's going to be even more overprotective. So, if I was your sister, I'd probably be just as worried. I tried to console her, and Rizzy gave me a small smile. I hope it's as you say, Spacey, but I still think he worries too much. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I can only imagine what it'd be like. Who knows how it really is? It'd be nice to have a family who worried about me, though I guess it could also feel like a weight on your shoulders. I thought about how I didn't want Uncle Yashima to worry about me, but that was a bit different. One thing was for certain, Ayumu didn't treat Ritsu like he treated everyone else. I haven't interacted with him much before, but I know he usually has a nice smile for everyone. But his expression from earlier was different. I remember how he was clearly irritated and even openly glared at me. Maybe he wants me to stay away from his sister. He's afraid you're going to take his sister. Because I named her Rizzy, and I am about for now to take Rizzy away to the library. But not like that, sweetie, not like that. I ain't into girls. But I will adopt her like a little sister. I'll take your sister away, but really not in the weird, inappropriate way that you're trying to get your sister. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But it's not like I'm trying to do anything. That line right there is a little concerning too. Is that how all siblings act? Well, depending on the choice they made when designing brother-sisters in the Otome game that we're playing. It depends. My thoughts returned to the question of siblings again. I was just going around in circles. But I did consider that their relationship might be a bit special, even for siblings. Ritsu spoke up then, interrupting my thoughts. You see, it's the relationship might be special. Is that how siblings are? What the, like, you know, I'm going to go with the answer is no, that's not how siblings are, and they might be a bit special. I wanted to ask you some things about the library's collections. I'd appreciate it if you could let me know your thoughts. Sure. I don't know how much help I'll be, but I'm happy to go with you. I gave up trying to figure out their sibling dynamics since I had no way of really knowing. Instead, I decided to just enjoy my time with Rizzy. A few days later, Rizzy and I had become good friends, so we started hanging out more often, regardless of whether she needed help or not. Rizzy told me she was coming to the academy again today for her student council duties, so we promised to meet up and chat. I never thought I'd have another girlfriend I could talk with, so I very much looked forward to our meeting. I'm glad I don't think of her like a replacement for Liz. Touche, Gabe. I'm glad I don't think of her like a replacement for Lizzie. She's actually a new friend. I think this is the funniest fucking thing that's happened in this game, is me just calling her replacement Lizzie. She's just a replacement Lizzie, and then the game literally is like, I'm glad I don't think she's a replacement for Lizzie. Girl. Shit, I'm gonna fucking die. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. She's absolutely a replacement. Yeah, she's like, I'm glad I don't think of her like a replacement for Lizzie. She's an actual friend, not Rizzy. Replacement Lizzie. I mean, Rizzy. Unlike before, some other members from Replacement Lizzie's student council were visiting the academy too, so I had some time to kill before they were done. It's a bit early, but maybe I should go to the library. I can read a book while I wait for her. I just started off toward the library when I noticed a commotion in front of me. I made these in home ec. Here, I'd love for you to try them. Oh, try my cookies too. It's Ayumu. Thank you. I'm more than happy to try them all. Yay! Oh, can I bring you what I make next week too? No, fair. Then I'm gonna bring mine too. Yes, of course. Ayumu was at the center of the kerfuffle. Kerfuffle is a good word. The girls had made sweets in home ec and had stopped to give him some. Wow, he's so popular. The girls blocked the hallway as they gathered around Ayamu, and so was Kamui, just FYI. I knew I'd feel guilty pushing them aside, so I ducked behind a pillar out of the way. Except for in Kamui's route, he was like, nah, I just kind of like hang out, I'm not really into people. And then in Ayamu's route, he's like, well, yeah, but they're not my sister, so it's different. I'm sure they'll be done soon, so I'll just hang out here. But still, he's completely different than he was with Rizzy. I guess it's because they're family. Maybe that's how he really is. Well, it's because they're family. Ayamu was perfectly pleasant when speaking with the girls, but his face was inscrutable. I remembered how overbearing he'd been with me. Like a sister. Just saying. A sister. He showed me an entirely different side of himself. I wonder if that's his real personality. I must be going now. All right. It was great talking to you. Good luck with all your student council work. Thank you. Take care on your way home. Thanks. See you later. Ayamu started walking, and the girls went off in the opposite direction. Soon, he and I were the only ones left in the hallway. He doesn't seem to realize I'm here, so it'll be awkward if he finds me. Wait, is he coming towards me? What do I do? I'm about to go see Rizzy, so maybe I should just come out and say hi. I was still waffling over whether to greet him when I noticed he stopped in a peculiar place, just a little bit away. What's he doing? Staring at a corner of the hallway? He'd stopped smiling, which wasn't unusual because there wasn't anyone around anymore. But it wasn't just that he stopped smiling. It was almost as if he had a cold-hearted look about him. Is he looking at that trash can? Is he seriously going to... Mommy had glanced down at his hands once before walking toward the trash can with purpose. What are you doing? Before I knew it, I'd stepped out and moved toward him. He was going to throw the snacks away. Huh? He looked incredibly surprised, which told me he didn't think anyone was watching. But his chilling expression returned immediately. What do you think? I'm throwing some trash away. Trash? But are those the sweets those girls gave you? How can you call them trash? I'd expected him to say something harsh, but actually hearing those cruel words made me speak with more force than intended. The thing is like, okay, it's like, normally you could just be like, oh, I'll bring them to the student council room. Oh, somebody gave me these snacks, like I'm sharing them with people, and people are like, oh, okay, cool. But like, somebody giving you snacks and like treats in Japan is a lot different than like if somebody gave you snacks in America, you know what I mean? Like, there's like different connotations to it. So like, you wouldn't just like share them with student council. They'd be like, but somebody gave that to you as a gift. It's like, yeah, no, I'm sharing it with you guys. That would be weird. Like, you know what I mean? From what I've gathered. But like, I don't think most people, if like he didn't really want to eat them, he would just bring them to the student council and be like, oh yeah, no, I don't like chocolate or whatever. And like, nobody would be like, oh, that's going to hurt those girls' feelings. It'd just be like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be seen as such a thing. So like, you wouldn't have to throw them away. Just bring them to the student council room. But culturally, it's different. So you wouldn't be able to get away with that, really. He didn't flinch, however, and simply looked down at me with contempt. Whether I think they're trash or not doesn't concern you. Besides, what are you doing here? Were you watching me the whole time I was talking with those girls? Well, I mean, since you have nothing to say in your defense, I guess I was right. You were spying on me, so you have no right to say anything. He was right that I'd been eavesdropping, and I couldn't come up with a snappy retort. He's like a cold-hearted bastard. If you were wearing glasses, 100% up my alley. But like being a little cold-hearted bitch, kind of into it, not gonna lie. I just stayed quiet, thinking he was done talking, but then Ayamu opened the trash can lid. Oh, no, you don't. Not on my watch! Oh! Look at this CG. Oh, she angry, he angry, the pretty bag of snacks. My body lunged forward before I could say anything, and I grabbed Mamiya's arm to stop him. What are you doing? I thought I made it clear this doesn't concern you. Or did you not hear me? He shot me an icy glare and I winced, but I decided to say what was on my mind since I'd already come this far. It does concern me. You didn't have to be so mean. I don't think it's probably it does concern me, but I think I want to say it, you don't have to be so mean. Yeah, you didn't have to be so mean. That's the one I wanted to say, so good. Because it doesn't concern me, so saying it does is wrong, but you didn't have to be so mean about it. Oh, really? I didn't anticipate someone marching up and trying to tell me what to do. Let's hear what you have to say then. Although I can't guarantee I'll listen.
We're past time, but I didn't think it was going to be this long of a scene, or like when we first started. I'm like, oh, it'll be a little bit when we go meet Rizzy or whatever, and then here we are. So, oh well. Anger bubbled up inside me because he was so clearly making fun of me, but I tried to quell those emotions. I might be prying, but I can't allow you to waste food that someone gave you. Those girls gave you those sweets because they wanted you to be happy. Are you just going to toss out their feelings too? I chose my words as calmly as I could, but they didn't seem to faze Ayumu at all.
I never asked for them to like me, and giving a gift as a gesture of goodwill is entirely their choice. It was just for their own self-satisfaction. The moment I accepted their gifts with a smile, my duty was fulfilled. And after I fulfilled my duty, what I do with the present is up to me.
I was shocked by how coldly he described it. I didn't know what else I could say, but I still tried to convince him. Ayumu, you're so kind to Rizzy. How could you do something so cruel? Aren't you able to show others just a little bit of that same kindness? Well, no, because he... sister. Ayumu looked at me with immense contempt. I'd never seen such a level of loathing before.
I was curious as to what you might say, but that was pure nonsense. Why should I treat others the same way I treat Ritsu? Ritsu is my darling sister. It's asinine to compare her with other people.
Yeah, see?
My darling sister. My sister.
Yeah. Okay, alright, I'm concerned. He honestly appeared mystified as he tore apart what I'd said, but then he followed up with something even more outrageous. Ooh.
So, what are you to Ritsu?
I'm her friend. Rizzy already told you that. Anger started to come through my voice, but Ayumu just scoffed.
Of course I remember what Ritsu said. But I'm the one who decides if you're fit to be her friend.
Excuse me?
And I found you lacking. I forbid you to see Ritsu moving forward.
Wow, you are really crazy. Alright. He declared all this as if it were a done deal. I was so taken aback that I needed to clarify what he said. Huh? What are you even saying?
You cannot be Ritsu's friend. I won't allow it.
Didn't you ask me to look after her the other day? I asked that to confirm what he'd said before, but Ayumu had apparently changed his mind.
The situation's changed. Now that things have turned out this way, I can't allow you to go anywhere near Ritsu.
What's that supposed to mean?
Do you have any idea what you did just now?
After he said that, I glanced down and realized I was still holding onto Ayumu's arm. You touched me! How dare you! Wow, he's a little psycho bitch. This is interesting. Okay, I'm into it.
You disgust me.
And we're gonna fall in love? Okay. Alright, curious. I gasped and loosened my grip, and Ayumu jerked his arm away.
I will not permit Ritsu to be friends with anyone who does something so vulgar. If by chance she begins to act like you because you spend time together, the thought alone gives me chills.
It was true that grabbing his arm suddenly was rude, but I thought what he was doing was even worse. I was about to protest, but his gaze turned so sharp that I just tensed up instead.
It seems I need to be more direct, or else you won't understand. Don't ever go near Ritsu again. This isn't a request, it's an order. And if you don't follow it...
What happens then?
If you still can't understand without being told, then you really are a fool.
His voice oozed with pity, and I found I was speechless again. He is a bitch! I like the bitches, though. Like, alright, okay, wait. Wait. We're gonna see how this goes, because, like, you're being a psycho bitch to me, and I'm kinda into that. He must have thought things were settled, seeing how I didn't say anything back.
So you understand. Don't go near her again. Ever.
He reiterated that one more time before briskly taking his leave. Don't go near her. But I was about to meet Rizzy right now. I was completely gobsmacked that he just forbade me to. But soon the shock subsided and rage began to overtake me. You can't tell me what to do because I can't read. Sure, the way I handled that wasn't ideal, but Ayumu's totally in the wrong here. Absolutely. I understood his logic, but that didn't make it right to waste food and disregard someone's thoughtfulness. I thought about how he would keep on doing things like that. As long as he keeps that smile on his face, people won't know what he's really like. It's terrible. He was pretending to be friendly, even though he should just refuse gifts he doesn't want. Doesn't make any sense why you try to trick everyone. That is a good point. Like, instead of being like, oh, no, I can't take your gifts or whatever. And I certainly don't need his permission to be Rizzy's friend. Replacement Lizzie should be the one to decide who her friends are. The more my anger grew, the less I cared about what our student council president thought of me. I wanted to be friends with Rizzy, not him, so there was no reason to worry about having his approval or not. I had to call her Replacement Lizzie because the game specifically started out the segment by knockoff. I decided that as long as Replacement Lizzie wanted to be friends, I'd keep hanging out with her. And with that, I headed toward the library. Fuck you, I don't listen! I kind of like it. I like her sass. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here because we're over time. So remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.